Hello, Skyrim family. This is Medieval Nord 88 here. Just making this quick video because I would really like to discuss a few issues that I've found with this community. Let me just back up for a second and say that thank you to all the porters that port amazing mods. Thank you to all the content creators who do mod showcases. Thank you to the everybody in this community. This this video is not going to be about me bashing anyone personally. Um, I've just noticed some issues with the community, with the modding community itself, especially on Discord. And my issue seems to be that no one seems to really care about or consider. I shouldn't say care. It's okay. It's more like they just don't consider certain things about the perspectives of people who are new to the modding scene, or people who just don't care to put in the long, tedious hours of understanding modding and how to mod PlayStation. Because there's an issue with PlayStation and consoles in general. We do not have loot. I think Xbox has loot, and this is a mod organizing um, program. I think it's a third-party program, so I'm not sure if you can even do it on Xbox. Um, so there's this thing with consoles that modders know, and mod porters have to know and understand this, especially if they've been doing it for a long time, that people can't organize their mods automatically like you can on a PC. So the issue is you have to do a lot of homework and a lot of research to understand how to organize a load order properly. Or, like in my experience, my 10 years experience of modding on PlayStation, you will always run into issues if you do not have mods properly placed. And my sentiment towards the community is that, people are posting videos, and it's great that they are. It's great that they are. I'm not bitching about them posting the videos, but there seems to be a disconnect about how they are displaying information and content. A lot of times, some of these content creators, and I'll just go ahead and mention one that's not around anymore. Um, Shapeless Media. Shapeless Media was a PlayStation exclusive mod showcasing channel on YouTube. But the more I started understanding about how to organize a load order, I would watch their videos, and they would show their load orders, and it would be a complete disorganized mess. And they would never mention following the logical load order. They would never mention the importance of it. And so now, you fast forward 10 years now, or however long since they've retired, since Shapeless Media is retired, and you have other content creators that are starting to show up, and they're doing the same things. They're showcasing their mods. They're showcasing a load order that's a testing load order that's meant to be for them testing whatever mods they've just willy-nilly downloaded randomly into their list. And they'll run through Riverwood and they'll show a few clips of the mods working. That's fine and everything for them. But what they're not mentioning to people, and what I'm saying is there's this disconnect between like empathy, basic empathy, to understand that most of these people watching your videos probably most likely have no fucking idea how to properly organize their load orders or the importance of it. They don't understand the importance of understanding priority conflicts. They don't understand that if you have a mod in the wrong place, it can completely mess up your game and cause all sorts of bugs, crashes, glitches, frame drops, all sorts of things. But I'll look at these people's load orders at the end of their videos, and they'll be a completely disorganized mess. they'll have like 150 plus creations, and they'll have half of them disabled. So you're going through and you're looking at, they're like, here's my load order, and it looks like this. It's like, and then like all these mods are like disorganized, and like you'll have swim mods, texture mods way down here, and then they'll have like tree mods way at the bottom, and then they'll have their water mod way at the top. Complete disorganized mess. And then they're displaying this to people as if this is a copy and paste, fully functioning, here you go. And I've done it myself. And this is kind of why I've decided to make this video and go on this rant about this issue that nobody addresses, among many other issues within this community that I have not mentioned yet, such as the Discord issue with people acting like gatekeepers of mods and not even being able to take simple criticisms. For example, there's a mod called Smooth Water that produces really bad tree reflections, square, hideously ugly tree reflections. That's not an issue with vanilla water. It's not an issue with Simplicity of Sea. It's not an issue with other water mods. And they just don't address, they don't care to address the issue. And then I go on YouTube and I see a dozen videos of people using it like it's not an issue. It's ugly. It's ugly. Quit acting like you don't see it. Especially if you have everything else in your game looks beautiful. You have a landscape mod, you have the mountains, and everything looks next gen, and then you have these square, ugly tree reflections. Immersion breaking. And that just might be my personal opinion, and I might just be super OCD picky. But seriously though, it's an issue. And if you're in a community and you bring up an issue and these gatekeepers act like bullies and take immediate offense to something that's not even their work. Literally not even their work. A 10-year-old mod that clearly could be fixed if somebody took the time and had the interest in actually fixing it, but the community wants to act like there's some kind of divine mod lords and you've challenged their authority by criticizing a 10-year-old mod's work. You're a porter, dude. It's not your work. All you do is you get on your PC, you move a few files around to make it work for the PlayStation, and that's all you do. You're not creating mods. You're not creating the mods. So get off your fucking ego trip. Seriously. Like, I understand this is like what people do, and this is a really chill community with probably a lot of introverts. I'm one of them. But I'm not afraid to address issues where people get all in their feelings because somebody brought up an ongoing issue. Another thing is I seriously think Bethesda should have a requirement and some kind of moderator. I don't know how it would work, but they could have some kind of updated Bethesda.net system that requires full descriptions. And all these people have to do is copy and paste a description of a ported PC mod and make it available for people to read, such as there's certain mod porters that do this. Lux is a perfect example of somebody who always puts full descriptions in his mods, in his ported mods. And so, especially who's somebody who's new to modding and doesn't understand placement, and some of these mods are so large, like Happy Little Trees and landscape mods are so large, and they have no descriptions on where to place them. People have to go Google it, or they have to study the logical load order PDF, which I can't recommend enough, and not enough people do this. And it seems like not even content creators on YouTube are doing this. And somehow their fucking games are working in all their videos. Actually, let me retract that comment. Because I've actually seen several YouTube videos with content creators displaying their load orders where it was complete janky, complete bugged. They had flickering lighting, all kinds of issues. That I've gone in and this isn't just my ego or pride talking. I'm trying to convey how tedious and how time consuming having a properly full playthrough load order, okay? A full playthrough load order. Something that's stable. And I don't think that this is being conveyed enough in the community. There's only like a handful of videos actually teaching people how to organize a load order on YouTube. Shout out to Corby. Shout out to Corby for actually walking people through how to properly organize a load order. He actually helped me a lot because I had my own preconceived ideas about how things worked, and I had to go and check myself. I had to go back and do some more research. This has taken me a little over 8 years to actually learn everything I know now on how to have a stable working game with 150 mods. 150 plus mods. Including creations. So I'll go on to YouTube, and it makes me cringe, and that's why I've made this video today. I'll go on to YouTube, and I'll go on to Discord, and some of the attitudes of these people, and some of just the lack of consideration of the community itself. And yes, they're doing a great service. Yes, they're doing a great service by porting mods. Yes, they're doing a great service by showcasing content. But how much is it really just for clicks and views? If you can't put something that takes me 5 minutes, a simple thing in your description saying, please follow logical load order. This load order is for testing purposes only. That's a very simple thing to consider in my mind. And so I'll just, it's not like I will unsubscribe and unfollow these content creators. It's just that it's a real issue that they don't acknowledge. And it's most of them, honestly. It's a lot of them. And you watch their video, and at the end of the video they say, here's my load order, and anybody that doesn't know any better is going to copy and paste it, and they're going to have issues with their game. And hopefully, honestly, it leads them to actually doing their own research. But what I'm trying to do is spare people the frustration. I'm trying to spare people the frustration by going and simply learning and studying the PDF file for the simple load order, or for the logical load order. You can find it on Reddit, you can find it on YouTube, you can find it on just a simple Google search. There's image files for it. And I don't mean to sound condescending here. That is not my goal. I'm just really at a point of frustration with the community in general and people's lack of consideration for especially the newcomers. It's easy to be somebody who's been in the know and been involved in modding for years to have this kind of high horse mentality. And I'm not saying that people do. Some of them do. And some of them it's just a lack of awareness, really. And I'm not trying to point and poke and prod at anyone in particular or point out that people are bad human beings. I'm just saying that everybody can improve in some kind of way. We are all learning every day, and to sit there and act like a gatekeeper because somebody's pointed out an issue with a mod that's 10 years old is just beyond me. It's ridiculous.